Okay, good evening, class. Just want to be able to work out some problems in this section here, 3.5 exercise. So I'm going to do number one. Okay, number one is asking us typically to find f of g. I'm sorry, f plus g of 3. To evaluate that, if our f of x is this and our g of x is this. Okay, so our solution. Okay, so typically whenever you have f plus g of some value x, you can rewrite this as f of x plus g of x. Okay, it can be written as that way. Okay, now in this case we have f plus g of 3. Now you can write that as f of 3 plus g of 3. Okay, now our f of 3 will equal, now this is my f of x here, so wherever I see x I'm going to put a 3, and that's going to be 3 plus 1. Okay, and then my g of 3, I'm going to look at the g of x function, and wherever I see x, I'm going to put a 3. And I'm sorry, and that's going to be 3 squared minus 2. And this is going to give us the square root of 4, which equals 2. And this is going to give us 9 minus 2 equals 7. Therefore, f plus g of 3 is going to equal f of 3 plus g of 3, right? My f of 3 was 2 right here, and then my g of 3 was 7. Okay, so my answer would be 9. This is your answer right here. Okay, all right, let's do number I think I did number 6. Okay, let me come here. This is number 6 here. Okay, so my number 6 in this case, it's going to be as a matter of fact, let me come up here and do this, because it's the same number 6 here. Okay, same thing. So let me just move this down a little bit and do number 6. Okay, so number 6, we have h minus g of 4. Okay, whereby it's going to be h of 4 minus g of 4. Okay, and now my h of 4, since the function of h is 1 over 2x plus 3, 1 over 2, wherever I see x I put a 4 plus 3. Okay, and that's going to give me 1 over 11. Okay, and then my g of 4 equals, it's going to be 4 squared minus 2 equals 16 minus 2 equals 14. So therefore, h minus g of 4 equals 1 over 11 minus 14 over 1, which happens to be negative 153 over 11. And this is my answer here. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to number 11. I'm going to do number 11 here. Okay, so the question is really asking me, I'm going to use this graph to be able to evaluate a few things. Okay, so I'm going to look at A, and they're asking f plus g of 0. Okay, so in other words, at f of o, and this is my input, right? So this is my f graph, and this is my g graph here. So when um, when x is 0, what typically would be my y? It's going to be 0. Okay, when g is 0, what would be my y? 0. Therefore, f of 0 plus g of 0 equals 0. Okay, now b is going to be f minus g of 2. Okay, now let me just use a different color here. My f of 2, question is, I'm going to look on the f graph, right? This is my f graph right here. And I'm going to ask myself, when x is 2, what is going to be my y? Okay, so when x is 2, I come up here, my y is 4. When g is 2, it's the g graph right here. Okay, when g is 2, what is my y? Well, this is 2 right here. I come down, and that's 4. Negative 4, I'm sorry. So if I say f of 4 minus g of 4 equals 4 minus 4, and that equals 8. Okay, let me just bring this down a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to go to C. Our C values right here, and I'm looking for the product of f and g of negative 1. Okay, so when f has a value, x value of negative 1, I'm looking here. Let me just erase this part. I'm looking at my f graph, and I'm looking for negative 1. I'm at negative 1 right here. This is negative 1. I come down, and then that value is going to be a negative 2. The y value is negative 2. Okay? When I come down, when I have g of negative 1, I'm here on my graph. It's my g graph right here. I'm looking for negative 1. If I'm at negative 1, it's going to be 0. I'm sorry. Oops. Negative 1. I've got to come up all the way to 5. Sorry, because this graph is a parabola, so it goes to 5. It will be the y value. Okay? So when I take the product of these two, f of negative 1 times g of negative 1, all I'm saying is I'm saying 2 times 5 happens to be negative 10. And that's my answer. Okay? And then the last part, and just bring this down a little bit more. The last part is going to be D, whereby I'm looking at the quotient f of g, f divided by g of 2, right? And that typically is going to be, I'm looking for f of 2. I look at my graph again. This is my f graph right here. When x is 2, what's my y? My y is going to be 4. Okay, this is x. This is the x-axis right here. This is the y-axis right here. So this is 2. I go all the way up to hit my f graph, and I go across, and that's 4. That equals 4. Then g of 2 equals, I come down to my g graph. Okay, come down to my g graph. This is my g graph. I'm looking for when x equals 2. So that x equals 2, I come down, and that gives me a negative 4 as my y value. Negative 4 is my y value. So that's negative 4. So in other words, f of 2 divided by g of 2 equals 4 divided by negative 4 equals negative 1. And that's my answer. Okay, I hope this helps. I'm going to stop here and then I'm going to continue. Thank you.